Hello and welcome to Ruggles Roundup. It's the portion of our Elevated Mission podcast where we talk about all things sports. We're super excited to bring this episode to you. We've got another question for you guys. Does Dak Prescott reset the QB market? And we're talking about financially.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry Jones tends to do that with any position group, really. He's willing to shovel out big money, whether it was Ezekiel Elliott a few years ago. We saw that was not a good decision, as that put them in a salary cap chokehold for a few years, not even able to let their talented running back Tony Pollard be able to take over and take those snaps because they were like, we gave so much money to Zeke. We gotta feed the ball to him. And I could see the Cowboys doing it once again with Dak Prescott, even though he's proved time in and time out that he's not that elite quarterback that can take him to the next level, in my personal opinion. I mean, we just talked about this in the last podcast that we released, that pressure rates are a huge key indicator to winning football games. Well, Micah Parsons knows how to get after the quarterback. They also have some excellent DBs out there as well. They got a wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb. You have all the answers, and somehow you're not able to escape the first round of the playoffs. I think you have to put the blame on Dak Prescott. Do I see the Cowboys maybe making that mistake? Yes. Do I think it's a mistake? Yes.
Absolutely. I think a mistake in this case. You know, if you're going to shell out 50 to $60 million a year for Dak Prescott, hitting your salary cap that much. I mean, especially when you got a draft right now that you could go and find yourself a talented young quarterback. You've got a nice offensive line. You've got a great defense. You've got, all the pieces that you need there to help a young quarterback come along and be able to build around that quarterback. You just don't pay the price to Dak Prescott that is going to reset the market. There's a lot of rumors that that's going to happen, but I don't see how that makes sense for the Cowboys, even though I agree with you that Jerry Jones just will do that, right? I mean, he just does do that for his players, especially if he feels like they're loyal to the brand, then he'll shell out money for that. That doesn't equal success just because he's a good quarterback and he's been a Cowboy for a long time. That doesn't mean unlimited funds going to him makes you a better football team. I would say you say, okay, here's what the market actually is for Dak Prescott. This is where he ranks within quarterbacks in the NFL. And then you offer him that. And if he doesn't go for it, you go, you know what? We'll pick up a nice player in the draft this year. And, we'll just see where that all goes.
Oh, I mean, when you have so much talent on the roster, that defense is going to give your offense many opportunities. That offense has talent across the board. They continually draft talent to be able to add to that offense. I think it's a perfect situation for a young quarterback to develop. And then also by getting that young quarterback, it allows you to go out into the free agent market, as there is some talented receivers out there, especially if you're looking for a wide receiver number 2 for yourself. I mean, a Calvin Ridley, one of those other, T. Higgins, you might make a big deal trying to sign. There's some really talented free agents that you could go after that then signed. You have that young rookie quarterback that's on that rookie deal. You have money to be able to spend other places. I think it's a perfect opportunity to replace Dak, but that's also an issue. Dak is one of those guys that he rests right at that pretty good quarterback category where he's not horrible. He's definitely not a bad starting quarterback. He's got good leadership from what I've heard and seen of Dak Prescott. He throws a good, accurate football. He puts up some of the best stats every single year, much like a Kirk Cousins, very similar to Jared Goff. But I think all those guys get overpaid at certain points, and it can really hurt your organization. You saw it with the 49ers as they debated whether Jimmy Garoppolo should be their guy. They moved off of him. We saw what Jimmy Garoppolo was when he didn't have the best coach in all of football, Bill Belichick, or all that talent over in San Francisco. It didn't work out very well. And so I would like to see what another quarterback looks like underneath the center for the Cowboys.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the challenge of paying these quarterbacks that are in that, I guess I would just put them in that 10 to 15 like ranked quarterback in the league range for me. Um, you pay them like a top 5 quarterback, and you live to regret it. You're going to pay a price when you do that, because you can't put the players around them that they need to be able to perform. They can then perform like a top 5 quarterback when they've got that talent, surrounding them, and they're in that right position. So yeah, we see it every year. Some team is going to overpay for a quarterback that they need to get signed to, a contract, and then that either works out for them because the guy is just uber talented and can lead the team to where they want to go, or they end up in a situation where they go, I can't put the players around them that we need to win at this level.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you see time in, time out, moving on from that guy works out. I mean, you saw it in. I mean, the best example of that is Kansas City, where they had one of the best offenses in all of football, led by Alex Smith. But they weren't able. They got beat by the Titans in the playoffs a few times. They lost in the first or second round in the playoffs, and you were just like, what can this team do to take that next step with Alex Smith at the quarterback? They said, we can't do it with Alex Smith at the quarterback. They draft Patrick Mahomes, and story is as clear as day. 3 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl MVPs for Patrick Mahomes, who's surrounded by all that talent that Alex Smith had, and was able to develop into one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen play the game.
Absolutely. And so maybe the Cowboys look to dip into the draft and get that next right answer. That's not what I've seen out of Jerry Jones in the past, so probably not the way that they'll go. But I think that's the smart money. But if they reset the market with giving money to Dak, I look for the Cowboys actually to take a step back from even what they've been recently, because I don't think they'll have the offensive firepower around Dak to make things go the way it usually has gone for the Cowboys. And that's only been regular season success anyways. They've never been able to get it done in this, version of the Cowboys in the playoffs. It's been quite a while for these Cowboys to have some playoff success.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things that they have all the talent across the board. Like I said, defensively, they have that offensive firepower. It then goes down to the QB, and you can't go pay a quarterback that can't win in the playoffs.
Well, thank you for watching and listening to Ruggles Roundup on the Elevated Mission podcast. Make sure, if you're on YouTube, you click the subscribe and you click the like button. We love that you're out there listening and watching us talk about all things sports. We'll see you next time.